time to check in on the latest buzz in the entertainment world.
Liz and Mike from 105.1 The Buzz joining us live. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning. All right. The
More
Oscars
Chris Rock,
just
Will
doesn't
Smith
stop,
slap
and
news.
we're not even talking about the slap. I don't think. I don't know. Chris Rock.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Apologizing to Wanda Sykes. Why exactly?
So she did an interview and said Chris Rock apologized pretty much immediately afterwards. And he said he was sorry because it detracted from her big night, that the attention should have been on her, Amy Schumer, and Regina Hall. And that sadly, the incident that took place with him and Will Smith is what was going to be what everyone was talking about. Now, I have a little bit of a controversial opinion here. I don't think any of us would have honestly remembered that they were the hosts of the Oscars this past Sunday. This hadn't taken place, because if you ask me who was the host in 2010 or 2014, I couldn't tell you. But if you say who was the host the time Chris Rock got slapped, I'd be like, oh, that was when Wanda Sykes was there, Amy Schumer. Like, I would remember everybody that way.
That's true.
That is true. I think that's interesting.
Well, and I was just thinking about it as we were talking about it here. I'm like, we didn't really talk about them at all on Monday morning, you know, and I think that would have been something we had talked about had the slap not happened. I thought they did a pretty good job, the three of them hosting together.
As long as we can forget Amy Schumer was a part of the whole thing, I am fully on board with this.
You're not an Amy fan. I like Amy Schumer. I think she did a good job.
I can't do it, mainly because I interviewed her once and it went terrible, but that's another story for another day.
Okay.
But, you know, we probably would have been just talking about how Will Smith got his first Oscar. And that would have been the storyline from the night had the slap not occurred.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it sounds like from the conversation that Wanda Sykes had with Chris that she was not Team Will.
Yeah, I don't think so. She said she felt bad for her friend.
Yeah.
But I just don't think any of their jokes were that memorable. Because even now, I'm like, I watched the whole thing. What were they saying? What did they talk about? And I'm like,
they had the
don't
joke
remember.
about Leonardo DiCaprio trying to save the planet for his girlfriends because they'll be here in the future.
That was
pretty
true.
funny.
That's true.
funny.
I remember that.
And when they came out dressed up as some of the movie characters, I don't know, I thought they did a good job.
I think they did. I will hand up, did not watch the Oscars live, so I was catching, catching up, afterwards. And I believe it was Amy Schumer that had the joke about equal pay that I think a lot of people really appreciated.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Kind of like throwing a shot at, sticking it to the man, which it was something along the lines of like, they had 3 women host the Oscars this year because it was cheaper than one man doing it, which was a good line. But other than that, I don't know either.
Yeah. Well, interesting. I know we're going to continue to talk about it. And Chris Rock, I think, will have more to say for sure. But okay, this next story, Eric Church, getting some flack right now for canceling a concert. What happened here?
So the NCAA tournament is this weekend with the Final Four, and Carolina is playing Duke, and he is from North Carolina, and his favorite team is Carolina, and he's never been able to see them play up against each other, so he canceled the concert so that he can watch the game, This is going to be one of the only times you hear me talk the sports. This is, I am originally from North Carolina. That is where I grew up. That is everything that is my past or whatever. And the rivalry of Carolina and Duke is huge. Families do not speak over this rivalry if someone chooses the wrong team. And this year, it's a really big deal because they've got a new coach coming in with Carolina. They didn't think they were going to make it anywhere in the basketball tournament. Then you've got Duke, who's their giant rival. It's their coaches last year. And so everybody was already like all amped up for this thing. And now that they're playing each other, like that is all my social media newsfeed is right now. It's just trash talking and people that are like literally ending decades-long friendships over whether or not their team is going to win or lose.
But is this okay if you're a performing artist? People they've bought tickets. My guess is they bought them months or weeks in advance.
Oh yeah.
If I told you that I've never played hooky and not skipped out on work for something, I would 100% be lying to you.
There's a different set of rules for people in Eric Church's seat, though.
I would agree, yeah.
But when you're playing hooky, you don't tell them the real reason why you're playing hooky.
He's going to be seen there, though. They're going to be like, hey, that's Eric Church.
Right.
But I kind of respect this take by Eric Church because, being from Boston, like one of the biggest rivalries in sports besides Carolina and Duke is the Red Sox-Yankees. And if they were ever able to play each other in the World Series.
we wouldn't see you. We know that.
Yeah.
I would
already
gone
said
for
I'm
at least
saving
2
all my
weeks.
vacation for October when the Mariners finally make the playoffs. Just know that that's happening.
Travis,
long
you
as
are going to
he-
have that vacation built up for years.
Oh
Don't
my
worry about
gosh,
that.
no, don't start.
I don't have time.
Start, you
Literally
two.
don't have
start,
time.
You two.
We got to
Don't
go.
Start.
But
okay.
next time, we're going to offline about that.
See you guys tomorrow.
All right, guys. See ya.
Again, you can listen to Liz and Mike every weekday morning on 105.1 The Buzz. And don't go anywhere because we are back right after this.
I'm fired.